Good morning, everyone. So we're just going to do a garden tour. I've got what I call kind of an Italian garden where there's tomatoes and basil and then potatoes. Not much else right now. The strawberries I recently got. But what I want to tell you is about the suckers. So when the plant is growing, when it's initially growing, you can take the suckers off. What I do is not throw them out. I actually replant them. And in doing so, now you've already got the process going with the plant bearing flowers, so that of course it's going to bear fruit. So this is clearly ready to be transplanted into a larger pot. Doesn't it always happen when you want to record, there's noise, it starts happening. Now, going on with the plant itself, as it's growing and bearing fruit, you are going to start taking leaves off from the bottom. So as your plant is growing, so something like this. Let me see if there's one available here. So you don't want to take too many off. You want to keep some that are nearby the fruit, because you're allowing for it to have that, oh goodness, of course the words are being missed right now, but have the sun generate the energy it needs to keep growing. So this plant's doing pretty good. I guess I could take this one off. You're only going to take off one or two at a time on each vine, so to not exhaust it. So right here, I can take this one off, and then that's freeing up the energy to go to the fruit, as it were, for those who know that this is the fruit. Now with your tomatoes, you're also going to be paying attention, if you're somebody like me who's organic, that you're watching for blossom rot or any issues with bugs or so forth. And as I've been watching, so this pot is fine. There's 3 in here, 2 small babies. But what's happened here is that there appears to be, one of them is getting what is called blossom rot. So you always want to pay attention to things like that. And it should look like that clearly at the bottom. So you always want to watch what's going on with your product as it's growing. So this still can be salvageable because it's only in the middle of its growth. So all I have to do is just make sure to put fertilizer on here, which all I do is when I have eggs, I rinse them and let them dry. But then I take a actual calcium vitamin and grind the 2 up so that it's getting a combination of immediate and slow release of the calcium to give the nutrients it needs. So anyway, back to making sure that your plant is getting the energy to the fruit and not the leaves. This one is ready, so I can take this off. And again, you're always paying attention. So clearly it's in the same pot, so it's likely going to have it on the other fruit too. But what you're doing is watching out not to let that energy go needlessly to fruit that is not going to get to produce correctly. You want to pluck it off. Just one, not all of them. So look at the nice cluster here. Wow. Ooh, thank you, spirits. Unfortunately, my ginger does not like this pot, so that's unfortunate, but we've got a few things growing in each pot. The peppers didn't take, so as you can see, what I did do as well, you can see all the leaves that have been taken off as it's growing up. This is a different type of tomato. It's growing really big. I think it's beefsteak, but I don't know. I thought those were beefsteaks, but they turned out to be some kind of Romas. But next thing you know is what you're gonna do is you're gonna let the fruit go, let it get nice and ripe so that you can harvest those seeds for the following year, so that you actually have a true fruit. So you're gonna keep those and make sure that they're dried correctly, and I'll show you that in another video. But in the meantime, you're gonna pay attention to this. When it starts getting a tiny bit soft, that's when you can take it off. But it seems that I was telling it that it was gonna get to do that, and it has done that with only a few fruit that are getting ripe so quickly. So as you can see, these ones are well. There's nothing going on at the bottom, so there's no alteration to the soil that's needed. But you're still going to pay attention and give fertilization constantly to make sure that it gets, again, the energy it needs, because there's several plants in the same pot. So with that, make sure that you click like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for any upcoming videos of me being silly, sometimes being informative, such as telling you how to keep your clippings, anything that you have. These suckers are actually going to bear lots of fruit, so don't just throw them away. Watch the underneath. Oops. Watch the underneath of your fruit and make sure to alter that spot specifically. Don't go changing the other ones. What's going on there is always going to be separate in each container. So even though it may be the same product, you still want to pay attention to only one pot at a time. So with that, I will see you in the next